Hello guys, my name is Flavia, I'm a woman FIDE master, and today we're going to be speaking how to make a plan. So when it comes to planning, I always like to take into account three ideas. So let's start by seeing the picture in the screen. So the first one I always like to take into consideration to think about it is what is the king castle. So maybe the king is in the center, maybe they go short castle, maybe they go long castle, and I'm short castle. So sometimes we need to try to create a plan according to where is the king castle. So in this case, let's say that he leaves the king in the center. So if he leaves the king in the center, we might need to open the center, bring as many pieces as we can to the center, and try to do an attack in the center. So let's actually see a position about it. So let's go there. In this case, for example, as we are seeing, white pieces has the king in the center. Meanwhile, black pieces are short castle, and we have our queen, which is really active. Our bishop is in the middle of the board. Our rook is ready to join to the party anytime. So the best move here for black pieces is sacrifice the queen. We nyami the queen, bishop d3, double check, and kings move to the center back again. And we ended up the game by doing rook f1 checkmate. So as we can see here, we managed to bring the pieces towards the center, break the center, and have some access to the king, and this way we could finish the game. Okay, so I'm not saying that it's gonna happen like this in every game, but just saying that if you have the opportunity to attack the king in the center, go for it. So that's why we always need to take into account when is the king. So another thing that I like to take into consider when I'm doing a plan is what type of center are we dealing with? For example, let's say that maybe we have a closed center. Let's go there. So if we have a closed center, we can say that we normally don't go for the center. We try to control the center just in case they have some breaks, but we don't attack in the center. We actually go to one of the sides. So which side? Normally the one we have more future on the opponent might have more weaknesses. We're gonna speak about these weaknesses in the future, so keep going. So in this case, for example, we're in front of a closed center. So white pieces are doing attack in the king side. As we can see, we have the king, the knight really active, attacking h5 and g6, e6, d5. The other knight can jump right away to the battle, so he can join the battle right away. The bishop is controlling a really nice diagonal. The rook is kind of active there, and the queen can join to the party as well. So in this case, white pieces managed to bring as many pieces as they could to the king side, and then we finally get to a pretty nice position. So we're ready for the sacrifice. So knight takes. So let's say that he doesn't take. So if he doesn't take and move the king away, he run away like that, we just come back, guys, or maybe bring the other knight, and we just won a pawn. So don't freak out if your opponent don't take if they don't take the sacrifices. Sometimes we just come back home and with an extra piece. Okay, so king takes, queen takes, h5, shaky, king takes, and knight f4 checkmate. So okay, looks like pretty nice now, but to get to this position, white pieces needed to create a plan. They need to realize there was a closed center position. They knew what we need to do in these kind of positions, and they go for it. So remember, when do we do a plan in a chess game? We do a plan when we develop the pieces, we finish with the opening, and we're in the middle game. So when we're in the middle game, before start and doing some crazy stuff, just please take your time, realize which weaknesses the opponent have, what is the king, what type of center we have. You need to take into consideration a few ideas before doing a plan. So okay, let's see the last one. The last one is a concept actually I really love, and it says that weaknesses. So let's speak about weaknesses. So far we already spoke about king's position, type of center, and the last thing I like to consider when I'm doing a plan is what are the weaknesses in the position. So when it comes to weaknesses, we might find a lot of concepts, but I prefer to guide myself by this one. So I didn't create this concept at all, but there is one grandmaster that did it, and since I read it, I'm using this for my game. So according to this person, a weakness is gonna be a pawn or a square that cannot be defended by another pawn, and is often placed on the 5th or the 6th rank of your position. So let's actually now speak in chess. Let's go to a chess position. Okay, so let's go there. In this case, for example, there we go. So in this position, so what is the weakness? Let me just jump right away to the main position we're gonna see. So this one is white to play. So in this case, white pieces make this move, bishop takes. What do they did it? So it is easy, guys. So if we actually take into consideration that concept I just told you is that so we need to look for the weaknesses in the 5th and 6th rank. So we need to look for pawns or squares that are not defended. So if we actually apply this idea, we realize right away as white pieces that d5 is a weakness and d6. So this is telling us that we need to go for the center. We need to try to start attacking this backward pawn and put a knight in the d5 or piece. So why? Let's go back a little bit. So why do they trade the knight? It's easy to get. So the best defender ever of weaknesses are going to be the minor pieces. Why? Because you're not going to put a queen to defend one square or a pawn. So after the pawn, the less valuable piece is going to be bishops and knights, which are minor pieces. So in this case, that's why we nyami the knight, and by eliminating this minor piece, we managed to get a better knight for a really bad bishop. What is a bad bishop? Because he has the pawn in the same color that his bishop is going through. Okay, so another important thing we need to do, so focus on weaknesses. Again, 5th and 6th rank. When you found this one, you need to try to do a plan, which means bring as many pieces as you can to make pressure on those weaknesses. But I'm just trying to say, don't try to go checkmate, guys, if the position is not for that. So sometimes we actually need to create something to make pressure on the weaknesses before actually start an attack towards the king. I know by doing checkmate we win the game, but it's not the best option ever sometimes to attack the king right away. Okay, so they play bishop takes as well, and knight jumps to d5. Okay, so after this, we're actually trying to do this and this. Maybe it's too early for this trade. I'm not sure if I would do it right away because the knight is amazing. So maybe I will take a little bit. So after this, I will place b3, c3 probably, rook f2, rook d2, rook a1, and then at some point maybe bring the queen here. And we can also start try to create another weakness in the king side probably. So what if black pieces, they play bishop d8 and the game keep going like I told you, b3, c3, and then we just focus later on the weaknesses, attacking the weaknesses in the d file. But what if the queen takes, guys? What if the queen takes on c2? Okay, it looks like a free pawn, but it's not. Rook f2, so now the queen needs to go away. So we're actually threatening this idea. That's why the queen needs to stay in the c file. So let's say he goes here. Easy, we just play rook c1, and in the next one we're doing knight c2, knight c7, and doing a double attack to the two rooks and winning material. Okay, so let's say he goes maybe, I don't know, to c5. Okay, c4 the same, rook c1, and we're doing knight c7. And now let's say that this queen go to c5. So he doesn't have a check, that's why we play rook f2. And then we just play rook c2 and knight c7. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and from this moment on you can start doing battle plans. Remember, what we need to take into consideration: king's position, what is the king castle. If he leaves the king in the center, we need to open center. If we are castling the opposite side, we need to do an attack in the other side when we don't have the king on. Maybe storming, bringing the pieces, and try to open this castle as soon as possible. So type of center, we also need to take into account what type of center we have and how to play with every type of center we might have in chess. So that's another good idea that you might be you can actually go deeper into this topic, and you might find yourself it might be easier for you to start doing planning. So, and the last one is the weaknesses. Remember, pawns and squares that is going to be in the 5th and 6th rank that cannot be defended by any pawns. So good luck in your chess games, and see you around. Bye bye, guys.
Hey, check this video out to make sure that you get more important information to bring your chess to the next level.